Hello YouTube. In this series of videos we are going to look at how to pull the top end of a gy6. This particular one is a 50. I'm having intermittent issues with this particular bike, so I've got a feeling it's parts related. However, what better time to go through a how to remove the top end. Seems to be a lot of bikes today. So what better way than to see if we can do this in the bike. Hopefully it will save a few of you some hassle, heartache, etc. And let's get going. So the first thing we're going to have to do is remove this seat. So we have this one, and two more down here. Now depending on what the model of the bike, the engines will pretty much be the same, but depending on what model of scooter it is, it may have different locking mechanisms, and there's meant to be one here which there isn't, but there is meant to be. So I will pull that and yeah, we shall go from there. Right, these are 10 mils. What I tend to do with these particular ones is just put them in the seat, then you can usually find them again. And the two in the bottom are 10 mils also. Right, see if it lifts out. Okay, so once you have that, you will end up with, you're going to want to take this piece off, which should, there we go, just pop out. And then we're going to want to, for good measure, take off these pieces. Now it is probably possible to do it without that. However, as you can see, just for ease of getting in around here, I tell you what, I think we'll try it without that first and just see what happens. Right, what we're going to want to do is pull the carburetor off of the inlet here, and just move this whole thing just back out of the way. It's definitely worth removing it from here, because you're going to have to take off all of this plastic. So the easiest way is to not do that. There we go. Is to remove from here like that, and just pull it back up out of the way for a minute, and then stick your nuts back on so that you don't lose them. Nothing worse than hunting around for nuts that you're not sure where they've gone. Yeah, don't do that. Do not drop them down in the intake. There we go. Lovely. So that's that part off. So this now can just hang around over here for a minute. I mean, we might need to take off other bits or tie it back or whatever. See, let's do that. Grab a bungee and just pull it up here out of the way. Now we've got enough room, because we're only doing the top end on this, so we've got enough room now and in amongst this area here to actually get at some of this. So we're also going to want to remove the HT lead. Make sure the keys are not in the bike. Probably should disconnect the battery before carrying out anything like this. Well, that one just pulls off. Probably shouldn't come off that easy, but it does. And then we have access to this one down here, this one here, and there's probably a couple underneath, which I will show you when we get that far. But for a minute, we just want to take off this plastic. Now I probably won't be able to film this bit because of the angle that it's on, so I will come back and show you where all the fasteners are in a minute. Right, that sits like that over the top of there. Oh, the lighting's getting bad now. There's one screw there, or bolt, one bolt there, and a little tiny screw which goes through there, which isn't on this one. So this is now off, so you can actually see a little bit more what's going on in there. Now the bottom cover is still on, it's off, but it's just resting down there until we get some of this other stuff out of the way. So next thing to do is pop off the rocker cover. Right, let's pop off the rocker cover and have a look inside. Now I think the valve stem seals on this particular bike, although new, are no good, which is why this is coming off. So when it gets warm, she burns oil. Could be the rings, could be a multitude of things, so we're going to have a look here and see what's actually going on. Oh, that one got tight. Then we got one all the way down here somewhere. There. All the same length. And then one more, the one down in here. I might do with that one. Let's put on the extension bar. Just whiz him out. Alright. And off it comes. Halfway through compression, that figures. Right. So that is pretty much how that all comes off of there. And what we'll do is we'll put all this stuff back with the bits that they're meant to be. And yeah, we'll go from there. Right. We are at the stage of got to get the exhaust off, so I can't really show you because of the way that this was set up, but under here there's two probably 10 mils directly underneath, and then also two bolts there. So we shall pull off these two bolts and the two 10 mils under there and drop the exhaust. Right, it is possible to get a spanner, you can't see, in down here and just wind them off slowly, but it's also possible to get a socket with an extension bar up through here, but you will need quite a few wobble bars. So I've undone the back one there, partially taken out that one so it has a little bit of play, but not so much that it puts all of the pressure on the front studs, because that's not what we want. Right, the exhaust is off. So this cover is now free-ish pipes. So that is pretty much all from there we have to do, other than undo these. And there's two more down the side, let's not forget about them. However, we do need to start looking at timing. It's so much easier if you get all of this timed up at the beginning. It saves a load of aggro. It's not the most important thing in the world, but it does help. Now the timing marks will be behind here, or they should be. So we'll pull this off and have a look, and there's also going to be timing marks on here. No, it's not timed currently, so we shall have a look at them. Right, so on this one we have one bolt here. Where's the other bolt? We have one bolt under here, and that could be it. That could be it. So let's pull these and have a look. Right, in here we have some timing marks. Now we have one there, then we have an F with a line, and then we have a T. Now it's the T that we want lined up. So there's a little notch here. There's the T line. Right, line that up, then come up here, have a look at this one. We'll go around there in a second. So we are currently not on TDC. Now we are. Alright, so the T is lined up with that mark there, and the on here there is two little tiny holes, and they are lined up across the top of the head. So that is pretty much the timing, with the big hole on top. There is no hole on the other side. So that is pretty much the timing on a gy6. So that's that white bit done. Let's pull the head. Right, before we start actually taking the head off, we have to take off the chain tensioner. So that's this one here. Can't just get my hands in the way. It's not working well. Hopefully this will improve once, yeah, quality wise, in the not too near future. Right, so chain tensioner has been released, so we'll pull that. So that is, it's on a little ratchet mechanism. God, the focus on this is terrible. So you can push and so that pushes up against the side of the thing when you're ready to do it. And now we have a slack chain. Right, let's get this actual head off. We've got a couple of 8mm down here. Which, do not forget these, because it's a real bugger when you're putting stuff together and you'll try to pull stuff apart and wondering why it doesn't come off. So we got 2 8mm there, and someone's gardening somewhere, and I think they're 10s. Let's have a look. Yep, and 4 10mm on top. So crack these off in a cross-shaped pattern. So we'll go for this one, then this one, and then let's have this one, why not? And by centering this to top dead center first, you've taken all of the pressure off of any of the valves, off the cam, off of anything. So pressure has already been released. So we pull them. Now a 10mm socket would speed up process here, but yeah, such is life. It's still a little bit tight. There we go. And the little washers, do not forget about the little washers. So we shall, oh, it's going to be awkward. Sounds like it's stuck on. Come on, washer. Right, there goes the washer, along with the rocker assembly. So we'll put that there. Note which way this comes off. It'll have little numbers on it, letters, sorry. So note down which way things go as you're going. And we can now pull off the timing chain, remove the camshaft, oh, that got caught on one of the little pins, and off with its head. So it is as simple as that for pulling the, ooh, that does not look pretty in there already. Right, gather up all the little bits that you dropped, and as you can see we are at TDC. And the oil, so it's definitely letting in oil somewhere. So thank you very much for watching.